code. Check. Still have so many students did not come. Why? Okay, anyway, so we need to start. There are many things. Okay, we only including today, we have 2 meetings. So I will need to make sure there's no surprise. Start from on, no surprise. We need to be clear about what we need to do. Okay, I know you have other classes. Okay, at the end of the semester, there's always some chaotic period. Many students have different kind of questions. Let's make smooth transition. You guys get good grades. Let's finish it. Okay. So let's make it clear what we need to do. Start from now, and what we need to pay attention to. Okay. What we need to pay attention to is first team project. Okay. Like team project. We have tonight, we are supposed to submit to the Access database you created. If your team haven't finished yet, that's fine. You can submit it with your final report together. Okay. So in the team project on Blackboard, there's a team project final report example. I will go over later. Okay. You can download. They show you what kind of component you will need in your final report. But that project is not a good example for good quality. I make it very clear. Okay, it's not example of good quality. I'm using it because it contains all necessary components for a final report. Actually, you already have most of it. Okay, 90% you already have. You just need to put together. Okay, so that's one thing. If you want to get things about what you need to have, that's the example. We also go over. Second is within team. Second is the final report due date. This one we need to change because our final exam date is same day. It's on the same day. I do not want the student basic with team project both together. No, that's unfair for some students. So I'm thinking, anyway, you already have most things you need to have, right? That's put forward for the deadline. That's get deadline till May 17th. Now, if you want to early, that's fine. If you submit early, that's also fine. Let's do earlier. Okay, so you can prepare your final exam. So let's change. I'll make an announcement on Blackboard later. Let's change the final report deadline to May 17th. Okay, then leave the 2 days for you to prepare your exam. Okay. The third thing about the team project is peer evaluation. Okay, peer evaluation. I already post a link on Blackboard, but you don't need to do right now. Okay, because you still have final report. You still need to have a team member to finish it. But what you need to do is for the team project evaluation, make sure you can see this Google form. So you need this Google form for each of your team member. I mean, you do not do all the students together. I will not separate them for you. Okay, please do individually. That means if you have 4 students in your team, that means you need to evaluate 3 more students, right? For each student, you will fill this form once. Okay, you need to put your group number, your first name, okay, official name, last name, your team member first, official name, last name. Then you need to give points. Okay, this opportunity, I know in the group log, everyone sign up to say something. I think sometimes you may not be able to say something you want to say. This is the last opportunity. Okay, over here you will read, you will evaluate your team member, give points between 0 and 100. Okay. For any your team member, if you give points lower than 80, please do provide very solid support why you give that student a so low score. Okay. You need to tell me, let's say April 14 was supposed to meet, this guy's missing. Maybe ERD diagram, this guy's supposed to have, it didn't do anything at all. I need a concrete reason why you gave this guy 80% for the team project point. You need to make sure. But in case some student, holding bias towards others, for everyone's evaluation, let's say you receive 4 evaluations, I will drop the lowest. Okay, certainly I will drop the lowest for every student. But if every team member give you low score, that's something there. I will definitely consider it. Okay. If you only have 1 student, I will drop it. Just ignore that evaluation. Okay. Any question about this peer evaluation, team project, and other team related question? Any other question? I think it's time to ask him. We only have 2 meetings. Due further. Any question?
So when is the project due again? I'm sorry, I just got in late.
The project due will be in, we change to May 17 because May 19 will be final exam day.
Okay,
we avoid May 17.
Okay.
Yeah, each team actually you have everything already. You just need to put it together. Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Any other question? Okay, that's a team project. Now I think everyone's clear about what we have. No surprise. Don't tell me, after the mid-20s, almost end the semester, you tell me you did not submit anything. Wow, that'd be issue. Okay, Iris, please. You just
yeah, I have a question. Are we submitting just like the SQL code, or are we submitting like the Access database?
The final submission, you need to have 2 files. One is Word document, final report. Another is Access database. I need to look at. I need to try those demonstrations.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Submitting tonight. What are we submitting tonight?
Oh, tonight you're supposed to submit like Access database, including some data for each table. I suppose you submit. In case, because I know everyone is very busy on the semester. If your team haven't finished yet, okay, you can submit it with your final report together. That's fine.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other question? Okay, now we're clear about for the team project. That's one thing. Then let's come back to this part. Then the exam, the final exam will be very similar like this one. Okay. Final exam, in the exam day, I will show you which exam day. I think I already talked about sometimes. In the exam day before, maybe 2 minutes before the final exam, if you log on to your Blackboard, you will see this kind of format. Now your final exam, you click into there's the exam question, you need to start answering. Okay, then that's something I need to remind you, okay, because this real time is different from you downloading question, then you start answering. No, this one you have to do online. When you do online, to make sure you have a stable connection, do not, to avoid, you need to avoid using wireless connection. Because on the semester, lots of classes using Blackboard, lots of people using Blackboard. That means sometimes you have glitch, you have some issues. So make sure you need to keep your connection, stable connection. In case you have some issues, like the computer issue, hardware issue, you screen freeze, take a screenshot, paste into Word document. In the future, if some answer missing, that is your proof. Okay, I agree that part. Okay. So make sure when you start doing final exam at real time, at live, means make sure you have stable connection for the final exam. Okay. Any question about the final exam?
I do have a question. I need you to say it again. So what are we gonna do? Take the exam on Blackboard, not like upload it like we did previously?
On the Blackboard, this exam, you will have most question are multiple choice, true and false question.
Oh,
20
okay.
something, yeah, 20 something. You just need to click. If you want to finish in 5 minutes, it's possible.
So it's not gonna be like the other exams where we
No,
gotta draw
not like
diagrams
one.
and one click. Oh,
Not that
wow.
one. Yeah, it's just
Okay.
multiple choice and true and false questions. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Also, we have normally we have 3 short answer questions, maybe 2 sentences, 3 sentences you can for each question should be enough short answer questions. Yeah. Okay, I think you have question. You can unmute yourself. Yeah.
You just answered it. Thank you so much.
Any other question regarding final exam? Okay, that's where we need to take. Do not miss it, because that's a time assigned by school. It's different. I cannot change at all. Do not miss it. Yeah, please do not miss the final exam. Okay.
Wait, can you just say again when you're planning to have it? Like around, if it's gonna be 2 weeks or when?
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Can you just repeat when you're planning to have it? Like within 2 weeks or when?
Oh, the final exam.
Yeah.
Oh, it's May 19. Yeah, I will send.
Okay.
I will send a reminder before that. Make sure you know. I will know. Okay.
What
The
time
problem
will it be on the 19th?
I think it's 6. Yeah, in the
okay.
in your slides, I will quickly
Okay.
run over.
Thank you.
Okay. If no other question, I will change the topic. Okay. So if we go back to the top, start from tomorrow, you will see another link. That's for actual point. Actual point will be the test 2, 5 additional points. This one is no matter, you just need to submit. You guarantee you will get it. So what do you need to submit? When you finish the teaching evaluation, when you from the Brook, I think Brook open tomorrow. Take a screenshot for the complete, not the score. Okay. If you submit the score, I will not accept. Submit completion that part. Then post there. Okay. Maybe you take screenshot, put into Word document. No, you just submit the Word document. You submit, you automatically get the 5 points for the test 2. Okay. That part, please make sure. I think that will be the only actual point I will give. I will talk about the test 2 later.
So can you please repeat that? So we just.
Okay. You just when you finish teaching evaluation, that tell you, okay, you complete your evaluation for this class. Take a screenshot, paste into Word document, and submit to Blackboard. You will find a link over here tomorrow.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah. So that will be one actual point. I was planning, have 2 actual points, but more than half class text were already graded. I'm not sure whether I will have the second actual point, to be honest. That I will talk later. Okay. That's the thing you will have. That's clear. That's the diagram. That's everything we need for the next till the end semester we will have. Make sure you remember for everything else. I will send a notice reminder for everything, but make sure you keep you keep up with the process. I know you have many classes. Okay. If no other question, I will switch back to our lecture. Where is my slides? Okay. Sorry, just a second. Oh, I forgot one thing. Email, it changed email. Even I sent notice, but I received today at least 20 phone calls. Darn work. Both emails not working. So I need to find the solution. Then that maybe I create another email to send the whole class in case end semester have any question ask them. Okay. So the final report will be 17. I already said the changing. Okay. Then the peer evaluation will be between 2 days. Okay. Actual point, I already talked about final exam 19. between 6 and 720, we have 1 hour 20. So I'm thinking maybe around the 22 multiple choice questions. Between about 22 multiple choice questions. True and
Professor,
false. Yeah, go ahead.
is the final exam cumulative over all
No.
material?
No. All the material start from today.
Okay.
Okay, all the material. We don't want cumulative. It will be disaster. There will be different disaster. Okay, today that we may have 1 or 2 multiple choice question from previous, because the requirement is cumulative. I do not want to do it. Okay, that's the reason we have shorter, much shorter. The time assigned to us is between 6 and 8 hours. But we will do 1 hour 20 minutes. So basically 22, around 22, I already created around 10 questions, around 22 questions, and that's my plan. 22 questions, around true and false, and 3 short answers. Okay.
Will you give us practice questions next week, or?
It's, don't need, it's different from
Okay.
hands-on. We don't need practice.
Okay.
For the in lecture, I will emphasize,
Okay.
something you need to know.
Mhm.
I definitely
Yeah.
emphasize it.
I was worried about the short answer. That's why I didn't know how in-depth the questions would be. That's what I was wondering.
Short answer in 90 questions, I can guarantee you. Short answer,
Okay.
from my experience, I created several different type, in different way, create short answer. Most likely, most students get full points for short answers. But multiple choice question, that is something different. Because that's the reason I only put 10% of the final exam. The theory part, multiple choice, you have to understand theory. That's different from hands-on. Hands-on, is something flexible. The theory, difficult, to be honest. But because we have short answer, big part, so that should be fun. Okay, that is something. No, I think I already made clear those things. Then let's look at that exam. Okay, right now I have 43 students grading the TA. Okay, if we look at current distribution, much lower than what I expected. That is the reason. I know the reason. Okay, because of the question difficulty level and also the time constraint. It's different from practice. If I give you enough time, like practice, everyone will get 100%, I guarantee you. Okay, because I look at the answer, several attractive answer. Answer most likely what I'm looking for, not a perfect answer. But for every question, I needed to know, you know the structure. Okay, you know what structure you need to have to answer the question. That is the most important part. That is what I told the TA when grading. If you have a testing point, the structure part, most likely you will get points. Okay, so current distribution will have median around 82 because currently the 43 means submit earlier. Normally in the exam, the submit graduate level different from undergrad level. Graduate level second half normally have higher, much higher point than first half submission. Yeah, I already get that experience. So that means that score will definitely raise a little bit after finish all of them. Right now we have median 82, mean 79. That means a little bit difficult, the distribution. Normally graduate level it should be around 85, mean and median or similar around that part. Means very difficult. Okay, so what I will do is after the graduate, after all the grading, but the problem we have several students already 98, 99. Very difficult. I'm not sure how I can still give a few points. Some post some student over 100 as possible. I will still do. I think I will do based on what I observe. Okay, and add those extra points. If you do extra point, that will be the distribution. So even for test 2, you still have very high score in this class. We still have very high score in this class. Okay, so don't need to worry about pass. So there are some students that do not perform very well in the test 2. Okay, leave it to me. Let me think about, do I have other opportunity? Okay, so I already, before class, whole class, I download the grade. I look at the percentage you have and the percentage we finished. We do not have, we only have one student. I think I will email that student. Only have one student has some issue because it didn't take the test 2. No, 2 students. After another don't need to worry because you already told me you have emergency. That's fine. Another student have no idea, just totally disappeared. The other student, you should be fine. From what I observe, you should be fine. You don't need to worry about something. Okay, so just just take good rest. Pay attention to the final exam. Pay attention to lecture. Where for today a nice class. What I tell you to pay attention to, you should be fine in this class. Don't need to worry about some student worry feeding something. No, don't need to worry about it. It's fine. Okay, let's make it clear you are fine in the class. Okay, I think that's enough about that part. Any question before we'll go into the first topic? Any question?
Professor, one question. So the extra
Sure.
credit, you're gonna post it online?
Yes, post on Blackboard. On Blackboard, yeah.
Professor, you said you were going to go over the final report later on.
Yes. Oh yeah. Thank you very much, Dave. You are really types. You always remind the important things. Okay, let me go over the final report to see the structure. Thank you very much. Okay, this example of the final report. So normally you start with a title page, your team member, what's your team, which group, okay. The second part will have executive summary, okay. So basically very short, just talk about what's your research question, what's your, what you get, okay, what your job, okay, something, Then you have business scenario. This business scenario, just a proposal, just your proposal. Then you will have a ERD diagram, okay. The ERD diagram stuff, RDM conversion, normalization. Your team you already finished already, just paste over there. Then you will have the creating database. These those codes. You will have the demonstration. You don't need many, just one line inserting to demonstrate insert data. That's everything you have. Okay. So you already each team suppose you already have everything over there. Okay. Then you will have a scenario, okay? Because in the proposal, each team talk about why you need a database, why you need a database to answer certain questions. This time to demonstrate, you can use this database, to do something, to solve some problem. The company, that require database, they want to use, how they can use. You will create several different scenario. Ask like the exam question, you ask several questions. Then use query to demonstrate you can answer these kind of questions. Okay, so you can create 4 to 5. I think should be enough. A little bit complex. Okay, so this team they create 10. I remember 10, but the R is too simple. Okay, you don't need so many scenarios. 4 to 5 enough. Okay, just demonstrate how to use database. Okay, in a database, then you might have a navigation form. Okay, navigation form, just YouTube navigation form. Few minutes you will know how to create. Okay, basically you will put everything, require everything, drop onto it. So basically, when you submit the access database, when open, there's navigation form. Then the scenario, the query you created will be all over there, the table over there. I click, I can see everything automatically there. Okay, then they will finish, you will finish. Okay, the last part will be a conclusion. Don't need long. Okay, what conclusion? The conclusion just kind of reflects in your team, in your project, what the issue you have in the future. If you really start doing this kind of work, what you need to avoid in the future, start from beginning. Just kind of reflects it. Okay, that is the structure I'm expecting. If you look at industry, technical report, they normally have this kind of structure. Okay, any question about team final project report? Okay. Okay, let's switch back to our new topic. Okay, so today we have 2 topics. The first topic is the NoSQL. Okay, it is not supposed to be covered in the intro class, but I already talked about NoSQL is basically most big company the mainstream. Okay, the mainstream. No, that's reason I think it's better. We can have a whole semester just learn NoSQL, but we don't have time. So I'm thinking just using one session to talk about what is NoSQL. What's the difference between NoSQL and the SQL the database we already learned, and what type of NoSQL we already have. Just very basic knowledge, just like touching this topic. Okay. So for the NoSQL database, so let me ask first question. Starting from first class till now, what type of database we already learned? What's the name for the type of database we learned so far?
Relational.
Perfect. It's great. Relational database. Okay. So far, we learned relational database. Why we call it relational database? Why we call the database right now you're creating, we are using relational database? I think we already discussed 5 weeks ago. Why we call it relational database? Anyway, why we call it relational database we're using right now, like Access, SQL Server, MySQL. Why we call it?
Because a lot of tables each have a certain relationship associated with them.
Great. Basically, thank you. Basically, we have lots of tables. Then we have foreign key, right? Foreign key is the primary key in another table, so we can link them to get tables together to build relationships. That's the reason we call relational database. Because NoSQL is opposite to no relational database. Let's think about it. What can be the first major difference between NoSQL and relational database?
Relationships aren't defined.
Exactly. That is the first major difference. So NoSQL, we do not have relation. No, we do not have. It means we still have relation, but when you create a table, you don't need to specify any relation. So NoSQL database very flexible. I'm telling you, very flexible. Okay, you don't need to create. You tell it system say, okay, this column is linked to another table, another column. Now, when you create table, you have to specify when we creating relational database, right? But when we create NoSQL, no, we don't need to think about it at all. But it doesn't mean we do not have relationship. Okay, we can use NoSQL database to create a table consumer, and create another table sales, create another table producer, another table inventory. We do not have relation. But when you extract information from different tables, you still need to using column in each table to build a relation to link them together, like you can extract information from multiple tables. Let me make it clear. Okay. Even NoSQL database, when you create a table, you don't need to create a relationship to specify, the foreign key things. But when you start extracting information from multiple tables, you still need to have relationship column, same column from at different table to link table together to extract information. Okay, that's something you need to pay attention to. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is when we create relational database. Okay, when we create, let me talk about the second one. Okay, so we have two types data, structured data. I think we already talked about. Another is unstructured data. Okay, so in this case, most NoSQL database we create to deal with unstructured, big amount, large amount. Okay, particularly emphasize two characteristics: the data, the NoSQL database, NoSQL is dealing with big volume, and unstructured data. That's the typical data NoSQL database is dealing with. But what type of data is unstructured data? What kind of example, in your mind you can think about unstructured data? What type of data can be unstructured data? I guess some of you taking data mining class. Yeah, they suppose the second week talk about. So what is unstructured data?
Maybe a photograph.
A photograph, certainly. How about others?
An
Other
email?
things?
An email?
An email. Emails what?
Text files.
Text file, perfect. That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you. Text. Okay. Over 90% of data right now, actually, we have as unstructured data, like videos, text, videos. Those part is, if you know how to deal with those data, analyze data, particularly you can find a lot of this kind of opportunity. Particularly you doing data part, okay. Lots of opportunities come. The Google looking for people, analyze, okay. The audio, translate, all these kind of, they need this kind of data, okay. Unstructured, why we call unstructured means, like the name suggests it, different from relational database. In relational database, we have to specify the columns, okay. We have to create a table. I have to say we have 5 columns in this table. Like customer will have customer ID, customer name, phone number, address, maybe gender. Okay. That each record when we insert into the database, now we will have, each record will have and maybe less than value less than 5 columns, but at most you only have five columns. Okay. You own each row, you only have 5 columns each record. Okay, so record 1, customer 1, that's ID 1, the name, John, maybe address, blah blah. You have phone number, you have gender, male, female. The second record, you still have these 5 columns. You need to specify that you can insert into the relational database. That's the experience we have. But for NoSQL database, they are different. But how different? Let me see what's different between this one. Okay, so in NoSQL, when you create a table, you still say, okay, but the syntax different. It's a bit different. Okay, let's say we still create a table custom. Still create table custom. But when you create a table, you don't need to specify. If you look at it, that's the, let's say, I assume that's the full sentence we have over here to create a customer table. So what are missing over here?
The fields and their data types.
Thank you very much. The field data type missing. That's why we create a NoSQL database. We do not need to specify the column. Now we start say, okay, customer 1. It's called customer 1. ID 1, name Tom. Okay, I just don't use quotation. Okay, you can use maybe something else. Maybe gender is male. Okay, my first one. The second customer 2. That we think I will still have some name. Okay, something. Now have female. Okay. Now we suddenly found this customer 2 have additional information. Like age, we have age just inserted. Maybe the third customer 3, we have this one, we already have 5 columns, another have 10 columns. Maybe the fourth customer have 100 columns. You just insert the data without consider original how many columns you have. You don't need to worry about at all. Okay, you see that is a beauty for this NoSQL database. You don't need to consider. You can expand it as you want. Really flexible. That will be this part I'm talking about, the second point. in the relational database, we have very fixed schema. Okay, you have to define your table, how many columns, the data type. Now you can start insert data. Also, for each column corresponding to each column, the data value you have to be the same as you define. If when you create a table, the second column is number, so the second value in the record, you must be number, right? But in the NoSQL, there's no this kind of requirements. It's really flexible. That's what we call dynamic. So that people like using fancy name, so we call dynamic schemas. So that is another very important difference between NoSQL and relational database. Okay, I think now just give you some basic idea about the major difference between relational database and what NoSQL can do. Database can do. Okay. Also, there's also other difference like hosting, like NoSQL most are distributed, cloud-based, distributed database. Okay. But that in the past, that might be the advantage. But right now, for the relational database, we also have distributed cloud. We also have, so that is different, but not major difference. That's something a little bit different. Okay, so the distributed database. What means distributed database? Distributed database means for one database, you have two kinds of situations. For one table, you might cut into, let's say, 5 different portions. First part maybe in LA, second part in Chicago, third part in New York, fourth part maybe Dallas. Okay, that's the first idea. People think, okay, the different data, let's keep locally, easy to access, to use it. Second type means you have duplicates. Okay, for the same idea as a blockchain. How blockchain is working, because you have duplicate. Every computer have the same copy. I say, I want to change my purchase order. I change on my computer. Doesn't work because other computer have the records. Doesn't work. But the difference is from the blockchain idea. Blockchain is decentralized. There's no centralized control master node, control other distributed the slave nodes. But for NoSQL, this kind of distributed system, you still have centralized system to control other. They can mine it. Okay, that's different between this distributed and the blockchain we're talking about. Okay. Okay, I think that the last part, I think I talk a little bit. Okay, because next week we will go into this one, concurrency control. What do you mean concurrency control? Concurrency control just when you have multiple people access the same database unit, the same table, maybe same column, same cell, okay, same column, same row, something. Now you might have someone want to update, someone want to delay. You have issue, concurrency control. Okay. In this kind of situation, they call the ACID. This kind of rule, relational database, you must follow. Otherwise, you will have problem. But in NoSQL, there's no this kind of requirement. Okay, no this kind of requirement, very flexible. Okay, I think that is the first major topic about NoSQL. What's different between NoSQL and the database we already know how to use? Any question? Okay, if no question, we will continue to second topic. Okay, the type of NoSQL database. Actually, there are many. If you count exactly count different, there are many types of NoSQL database. Okay, but in this case, in this class, I only want to to list these 4 major types of NoSQL database. Okay, key value and the document based, column based, graph based. Okay, so for the key value based, this key value based is basically that is the basic. Okay, that is the idea. Other types most are built on it. Okay, but most popular, when the people talking about NoSQL database, many people actually talking about the second document-based database. I think many of you already heard like MongoDB, right? I think Amazon also using kind of, I think they have MongoDB. And for the AWS, I think they have MongoDB. That's document-based. As most people talk about the second time. We also have column-based and something we'll look what they are. Okay. So let's start from the left-hand side, the key value, this part. Okay. What that means key value. Okay. So let's look at the original when we start programming. Okay. When we start to design the data type, or maybe the those containers, those structures we want to contain the information. Now, first we thought about, if you learn the different programming language, you will see the first popular one will be array. Okay. So what means this array? The array, just like if you want to visit someone's house, okay, you want to purchase house, you want to maybe you want to use a house as a warehouse to store your inventory. Okay, so what the inventory you will have all these numbers at the beginning. You build this house, there will be this array. Okay, my FP array. Now in the first room, you just put put 83, 84. 30. That's the first room. That's the product you put in. The second, just 12 and 12. Okay. So that's the idea. You create this container. Then you start putting the value inside. So in this value, but how can you extract those values? You base on their index. Okay, how they arrange the index? Now always start from 0. Okay, start from 0. So the first place and always start index number is 0. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's how we store data, how we access data. But later people think about, okay, sometimes that's not flexible. I want using something else to specify those index so I can use data. Until they create a second type of data type to store information. So then based on the programming language using, then we will have HashMap, map, dictionary data type. I think many of you is taking Python class, right? Let's just look at Python. That's very straightforward. Many of you, I think, understand what this one is trying to do. So basically, you create a dictionary. Okay, you give a name called my string dictionary. Okay, so in the dictionary, you will have the same structure as the array. Okay, in this case, what we will have key and the value. You see, we have key and the value. Okay, so what is key? Anything you can use. You replace that number index, allow you to effectively, efficiently to extract the value. That will be the key. Okay, the key in this case, the key can be anything. It can be a single string, a single word, or maybe a number, or maybe a combination. You see that you can be a combination. But this combination, normally you will put a parenthesis to make as a tuple to make it work. Okay. When you extract the value, if you want to find something, the value for something, you need to use this key to extract. So in this case, now I define a house have 4 rooms. For the first room, 3 rooms. First room I name it as value. Second room as Rosie. I put a different value. But how can I extract using the same approach? I will get. Okay, normally you will use the dictionary. Then you will get that this key. You just use this key. Then you will get the value. So in this case, I put key over there. The value I will get the return will be 39 and 0.0. Okay, that's key value idea. So now you realize what the first type of NoSQL database, what it is, just key value database. Okay, now you clear. When the people tell you Kiat, React, this kind of database, the key value database. What they are, they just this key value, but they make fancy. They do not call it table. What do they call it? They call bucket. Okay, they call table bucket. Okay, now we have bucket A, bucket B. So in each table, okay, in each bucket, you will have lots of key value pairs. Okay, so the bucket A, you will have first pair, key 1, have value 1, key 2, value 2, key blah blah, key n, value n. Second table, bucket B, you have key 1 value. Okay, so you will have all these tables, all those key value pair in each table. Okay, that's the first type of NoSQL database you are creating, you are using, you access. The difference is you need to learn certain programming language than to extract those keys to extract values using it. Okay. The second thing, that's the key value. You understand? I think most should be clear about what means key value. Any question, I will stop over here. Any question, key value. Okay, for the key value, but the second part, little bit, complex. But how can we store those tables of the buckets when you create it? Okay, in the distributed system, they store those buckets, those tables. They're based on logic, not physical distribution. What means logic distribution? Let me explain a little bit over here. Okay, so now let's assume in my home I have 4 computers. Actually, in my home I do have 3 computers. PC is different. Okay, so now this guy have 4 computers. Node, we call node over here. Node 0, node 1, node 2, node 3. Okay, 4 physical computers means really physical computers, like 4 computers. But when you create database, you will treat this computer as virtual computer. Okay, so now I will, for the 4 computer, physical computer, I can task, I can feel, I split into 16 different partitions. For each computer, I will split into 4 parts. Each part, I will treat as a virtual computer, a virtual database. Okay, so now I can start assign my buckets, those tables into the virtual computer. Okay, so you see the color. So I split them into 16 parts. For computer 1, I put virtual node. V means virtual node. First virtual computer database on the first computer. But the next part I put into second computer. The third part I put into third computer. You see, I'm using this way. I put even the consecutive part onto different computer. That's a basic idea that people how to create this kind of distributed system using virtual computer idea. Okay, I think that be enough. I will stop over here. Okay, for the key value type of database. Any question? Okay, the first type is quite straightforward. Okay, so this code just tell you, you can read if you already learned Python. Just tell you how to create a bucket. Okay, how to create a bucket, a table on this. You can import everything. You can import. You can install on your computer. Now you can have a NoSQL database you can use. Okay, create a bucket. Then insert a key value pair. You can insert 100,000. Create your own database. Then extract. How to connect, extract. Now this code enough to do it. Basic work. But of course, if you want to learn deeper, you need to go to some tutorial. Okay, that's the first type. So the second type will be document-based database. Okay, for document-based database. So what means document-based database? That means each record we treat as a document. Okay, so remember when we create a relational database, we will have this kind of table, right? That be record, first row, record, 3 column. We have value for column 1, value for column 2, value for column 3. That is in a relational, but in document based means each record is a document. Okay, so each time you store each record into database, that is a pure document you save. Okay, but what type of document you can save in database? Okay, actually the document is just data structure, data format we popularly use in industry. Okay, if you work in industry, what are popular data format we use if we want to transfer data, if we want to give someone data, if we want to transfer over internet? What are popular data format structure we are using? I know many of you work in industry. You certainly use those data type. So what normally,
PDF?
PDF, let's still Word document. You need to, it's difficult to process. You can process data structure. Think about the format.
Are you talking about like hypertext?
Hypertext, yeah, that is one. That's one time. Let's think about. I already talked about last time. We started going into database, see whether anyone can remember. Most internet data transferred to you actually is from other people far away, 1,000 miles away. The database actually they transfer in this kind of data format. Then you download onto your computer, the display you can read. But the data format, first data format is HTML. Okay, it's structured HTML that allow you to structure the data into something they can very easy to extract what you want to transfer. Okay, that's first type. The second type will be the major type used in document-based NoSQL database. That's the major data format. Start from J. Anyone think about anything?
JSON?
Perfect. Exactly what I'm talking about. JSON data file. That's something most these kind of document-based database they are using to create. But how the JSON, what means JSON? Okay, we call it JavaScript object notation. What means let me quickly to create a JSON file. Okay, then you will know what they are. Okay, in the JSON file, actually the document-based database, the same as key value database, just the structure a little different. In JSON file, you always start with the bracket. Okay, in the bracket, I already said what you need to have in the bracket in this case. So document-based is built on the key value database. What we need to have inside. Now, what we need to have inside?
A key and then the values?
Perfect. Okay. Basically, in this case, we will have key. This key just those columns. We can define those columns. But value, we have value. Let's say we have a customer one, consumer one. That's the consumer one. That's the first record. Now consumer ID 1. Now what's the first name? Maybe Tom. maybe Anthony. Okay, let's talk. And what will be the last name? Maybe so. What might be gender? Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. So you will create, let's know, I just create a first customer, first JSON file. So what I need to do is I copy it. Not this one. I copy this part. I open Notepad. I paste there. I save document as consumer one with file extension JSON. Okay, you create a first JSON file. Okay. So in the document-based database, what you creating is record just in this format. Okay, that means okay, we still have some time. Let me try to see. Today I already tried starting the work. Let me try still working or not. Let me open a prompt. Okay, a command prompt. The second I will. Yes, I will switch my screen. Can you see my screen right now? That's in the administrator command prompt.
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you. So basically, in this case, I already have. I already have MongoDB installed it. Okay. Oh, okay. I have MongoDB. I have. Okay. Let me whether I can start. If I can start, I can do a quick dump. Okay. It means okay, let's start it. So I just go to Mongo. So now I have my database, but too much stuff. Let me clear the screen. So now I'm in my MongoDB. Okay.
I'm
Right
sorry.
now-
I'm sorry to interrupt. Is there
Yeah.
any way you can zoom this in some? Because all I see is little dots on your command prompt.
Oh, this one, can I cite something?
It's fine if you can. I can.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah. So basically, what I'm trying to say, okay, let me show, do I have any database? Okay, right now, I have administrator configure consumer database. Let me use consumers. Okay. So now I'm coming into consumer database. Okay. Come consumer database. Let me show. Do I have, so in the MongoDB, the table name called collection. Let me try to have any table. Okay. I have a consumer table. Okay, I have a consumer table right now. So normally use DB. So I want to go to consumer DB. I will go to consumer. That is the table I have. Okay. So I want to DB. I want to find any. I don't have any record right now. So I try to use consumer DB to search, but no any record right now.
Isn't it customer?
Yeah, consumers. Yeah. Oh, still down the wall. You cannot see it.
Oh, no, the table is called customers.
The table called customers. Okay. So now I want to insert a record. So in insert record, what I'm trying to do, just the JSON database. So I'll have a bracket, then I will have a first name. Let me see whether it's working or not.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but so you said the table was called, I'm zooming in.
Okay.
So it says Mongo Enterprise, show collections, customers, but you're
Mm.
trying to call consumers.
Oh, consumers. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. And customers. I have customers. Oh, consumer. I'm sorry. DB like customers. Yeah. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you.
Customers. Yeah. Customers. Wow. Maybe we already. Oh, we already have record. Okay. So I already have record. Let me show and beauty. So the doesn't look nice. I want a pretty. So I type pretty. So this should be so pretty. So right now you see those records I insert, they have different things. You see the first record I insert, they have first name, last name, gender. The second record, they have a different structure. That's in JSON file. Okay, but how to insert? Just DB customers insert. Now I just type this structure inside the insert data. Okay, so in your MongoDB in the future, so my suggestion is if you're interested in this kind of stuff, those YouTube tutorial, very good. Okay, you can spend, you already understand how to work. Just the syntax different. I think for you current, your skill set should be around 1 month should be enough to learn the very basic stuff using MongoDB. Okay, I think that's enough doing a demonstration to allow you to see how this kind of structure is working. Let me switch back to.
Can I ask a question though?
So go ahead.
So if I'm inserting new records, right, and I'm using different keys for each record, right? Will each key create a new column in the database?
Yes, you can create. You can additional. Right now you see this one only 3 columns, right? This one 3 columns. I can also have other columns. So let's do not do demonstration. I just want to show you how this document, each record, stored in this database. Yeah.
Very good.
So I will stop all here. Let me go back. Okay. So that is JSON file. That's how the record stored in the document-based database. Okay. Any other question? No. For the document-based, you need to know that based on this key value idea. But what you have, each record will be one document. So this document normally for MongoDB will be JSON file. Maybe you look at what information you have. Maybe I ask you to interpret what information you can extract from this record, from this one record. Okay, I think it should be enough for document. Any question before we proceed the third type of database? Okay, the third type of database. The third type of database we call, we can skip this one. It's just for you, if you want to understand, you can read. Okay. The third type called column-based database. Okay, column-based. Okay, so this database is created to solve some existing issues, particularly for storing large amount data. Now, you want to extract data from traditional database, the data allocation. It doesn't work, too slow. So the column-based database is created for this purpose, to quickly search, extract data. Okay. So let's start from traditional database. So what is traditional database? Okay, how they store records. In the traditional database, let's assume we will have a disk block. That's just a hard drive, part of hard drive. You assign it to your own database. Then you will have a table called employee. Okay. So this employee, so in this employee, you have a lot of employee record in this table. Employee 1, employee 2. But in hard drive, traditionally, those records will be arranged side by side. Okay. If you look at this assignment on the hard drive, what we get is field separator. Okay. That's field separator. That is record separator. So the first record, we will have the employee, let's say called customer, ID C101, first name Smith, last name Joe, and location Hanover, and state New Jersey. Second record, customer ID C102, and first name Green, last name location, and the state New York. Okay, now you have all the one table records all side by side arranged there. Think about if you have a table, have terabytes data, maybe millions record data. You want to search one customer. The customer ID is C10200000000. Okay, you search, you start searching it. You want to get these customers' first name, last name, address, and the state they're living now. What will happen if you start searching this one? If you're using the traditional way to store data, what will happen? Think about if you search someone.
It's going to start at the top and go through it and take time.
Lots of time, right? Let's say you search someone 1001. You have to go to first record. Okay. No. So second column Smith. No. The third, fourth. You go to. So you go. Maybe the record is searching the last record. Finally, after 3 days, you arrive at record. You get a result. A disaster. That's the reason people think, okay, in the NoSQL database, all the unstructured, we already have stored so big amount data. Can we create a different kind of format? Something? That's the idea. Can we think about idea for facilitate the search? That's the column idea. Okay. So in the column, now disk block, they will separate, but in each disk block, they do not store the whole record. What they are doing, they store one column. Okay, like disk block 1, you have all the customer ID. Disk block 2, all the customer first name. Disk block 3, all the customer last name, so on. You have 20 column will be assigned 20 disk block random assigned to you. Okay. Now, when you start searching, now you only need to find the position for the record. Let's say you still want to find the customer with ID C11, blah, blah, blah. You find it, you know the position. You just extract all the first names, the last name, everything from the same position from other disk block. Save you a lot of time. Okay, that's the idea. People start creating this kind of column-based NoSQL database architecture to allow people to easily access data. Okay, that is third type of column stored database. Okay, any question? Okay, the last type will be graph-based. So graph-based, as name suggested, each record will be in the graph. Each record will be called a node. Okay, a node. Okay. In this case, what structure you will have in the database? You will have typically this kind of structure. You will have object 1, object 2, and relationship. You see, you have a relationship over here. So in this case, you will treat first object 1 as node 1, object 2 as node 2, and there will be relationship, some kind of relationship. So this kind of graph-based database. So what we can do, we can store the relationship between people. Think about Facebook. If you have person 1, okay, we have person 1, person 2, how they link to each other. Person 1, click like person 2. Okay. So can we create a second relationship? Person 1, still person 1, person 2. Do we have other type of relationship between these two people on Facebook? Can you think of other type of relationship we have? Can you think about other type of relationship we have?
Friend? Someone?
Normally you see that still using work, right? Friend means being friend. Okay, that's certainly right. Can you think?
Group, like in the same group. On
You
Facebook?
can group use treat work. Okay, but most popular you can follow, right? Okay. So this kind of data very valuable. That's this kind of data make Facebook, Twitter become so valuable. Okay. So this kind of data set you store, you can use graph-based database. Okay. You can treat each one as each node. Okay, each record. Yeah, so but what kind of graph you can see? So this graph not created by me, by Rich, another instructor create just show this kind of graph-based database. What it means? Over here, you will have graduate popular classes grade level. Then you have relationship. So that means operational research 9750 is the prerequisite relationship to cis9340. But now we do not have right now. Okay, so that is this kind of graph to show this kind of relationship. Then you think about what kind of company normally using this type of database? What kind of company can normally use this type
School.
School, yeah, they can use, but not the most popular. Let's think of big commercial. What kind of company popular using this kind of database? Let's think about we want to track those kind of relationship. Sometimes people call it
Social networks, yeah.
Social network analysis. Okay, that's very popular skill sets if you want to learn. Okay, but I mean, this kind of skill sets is not about centrality. This kind of very basic stuff. I have publication over 10 years ago about this kind. We were not using this kind of stuff. If you start from start background, I forgot how to spell the ergon. Okay, I forgot how to spell. This kind of statistical social network analysis is something many companies want looking for people to know this kind of skill set. They can use ergon. They can use this kind of skill. Very good opportunity to learn this kind of skill set, social network. So this kind of company, social media company, normally social media company related to this kind of relationship, they probably can use this kind of database. Okay, I think how to show this kind of database. There are lots of interactive interface. I have all the codes. Now you can play around to see how it works. Okay, this is clear. You can see, you can create a different nodes, a different links. That's how the data will be stored in that database. Okay, so I will stop over here for the NoSQL database. We just slightly touch what it is, what's different, what's a major type of NoSQL database. I think it should be enough to cover this topic for a very, very intro session about NoSQL. Okay, any question? If no question, now we can take a break. Okay, with no question, let's take 8 minutes break. Let's come back 7:28. Okay, so today I think we can finish early. Next week we can also finish early. Okay, do not have many things to cover. I think it's good. That would be good for our final exam. Okay, so we talk about NoSQL, the first basic idea, those very basic stuff. I skip that one, turn to the second topic. So the second topic we will have will be on the managerial side. So what do we talk about today? Security is on the managerial side. Next week, concurrency control, those transaction processing, recovery, it's all on managerial side. So after we create a database, how to deal with different issues. Okay, the first issue we normally try to deal with is the security issue. Okay, let me see, do I have this one? Okay. Okay. So for the security issue, let me ask, I think some of you is taking, I might look at the class. Let me talk about what is the most vulnerable asset in a company in terms of security.
Staff.
Ah, great, you see, staff, people. Okay, naturally in most security literature, the people talking about the first line defense always is the people, always employee. Okay, of course, that can be unintentionally, that can be intentionally, but most are unintentionally have this kind of issue. Okay, the same thing. Actually, security is a big topic. You know, we can have network security, we can have other type of security. Also, we can have database security. Okay, most security, they will deal with similar things. Okay, so when we talk about security, if we go to industry, I'm not sure do we have anyone working in industry security, but I attend several meetings. Now we have from the Homeland Security, FBI, this kind of meeting. They talk about how to set up this kind of security courses. Okay, actually they are not looking for technical person. Okay, they can treat technical person in 3 months. They do not need this kind. They have lots of computer science people to train them very easily to deal with this kind of coding stuff issue. What they need most. Our business vision, understand those security policy, can create those security policies to manage it. That's what they are looking for. Good field, salary really good, really good in this field. Also, they need a lot of people. If you as citizen, lots of positions over there. It's a good area can go into from managerial side. Okay. Anyway, because that is people is the most important defense. In this class, we only focus on the people side of security during database. Okay. So what we will, of course, for the security, there are so many these kind of consequences. You know, if we do not pay attention to security. If we look at the area, the security, I already put explanation down the bottom. Okay. If we look at those broader issues, security, we can have legal, ethical issue, basically talk about who can access what. Okay. Now we have policy issue. Now who can set up these kind of rules? Last one is system level issue. You know, what kind of definition do we need to control the access? What hardware something they can access? So this part really broad issue has nothing to do with us. So the part relate to us, this bottom part. Yeah, this bottom part. If you look at security literature, they will treat everything over here as access control. Okay, but I do not treat that way. Okay, they treat everything in access control. They have access control, now they have subclass access control, authorization, and the statistical information, other stuff. But in this class, we separate. Access control is just access control. Okay. Authorization is just authorization. Okay. As access control is the first step when we want to guard our database. If just based on this name, access control, can you think about what we should do when we talk about access control? What does mean access control? What does access control means? What you should do if you want to do access control for
the password and the employee's badge card.
Yeah, what they are. Good, Kevin. Good. Username, those bio stuff, but what they are. What's the purpose we're using these kind of different procedures, different tools?
They are identities of the person with the authority to those data.
Thank you very much. Basically, you are talking just beyond I'm thinking about. Let's think about what are you trying to do, those entity stuff. Let's think about a word. We worry about entity theft. We worry about someone is not someone coming to be. So what will be the approach we are using to do access control? That's one terminology normally used. Let's start
authentication.
Great.
Biometric controls.
Yeah, that's only the procedure we are using. But basically, what we are talking about authentication. Authentication. That is password, no word, the bio approach, fingerprint, everything. What we try to do is to prove this guy is this guy he claimed to be. Okay, those authentication will be most technical. The terminology that you're using to describe access control. If you network, you will have firewall. Firewall, what they have? Firewall, they have a table. That is basically a database. They have access control list. Some IP address not allowed, flag. Okay, something over there. That's kind of database access control list. But authentication is what we are talking about to manage database, password, to make sure we know only the people allowed to access can access our database. Okay, now the people can access our database. Okay. They can come into our database. Think about what will be the next step we should do. Now, this guy log into database. If you are a manager in company, what is next thing you need to think about? For security reason, you need to manage the database. What can be the next step you need to do?
It's what are they authorized to do and where?
Okay, perfect. We do have expert in this area, right? So basically, someone coming into database, you need to specify, okay, what this guy can access. Okay, for the database union, like a table, who can access? Okay, if they access, which column they can access? If the column can access, can they access all the records? If all the records they can access, okay, then you can, what they can do. So this kind of question will be next line question after you do authentication, they come into database. This line question will be next question. The manager need to think about, need to design their policy, need to put certain mechanism, controls to manage security issue for the database. Now, the next topic we relate to will be authorization. Okay, authorization is basically cover the things I just mentioned. Okay, In the authorization, what we are creating is we creating lots of we call authorization rules. Okay. In the authorization rules, okay, we will have 4 major components. Okay. So these 4 major components, that means make us smaller, don't need this part. So authorization rule, for each authorization rule, we normally have 4 major components. Okay. The first major component will be subjects. So the individual who can access to do something on a database unit. Okay. In this case, we just define who. Okay. Who can access and do something on the database. That's called subjects. The second major component is object. The object is about the database units. These subjects can access. Now, for example, this table, this column, something you can access. Okay. So basically, what defined is what. The action, like name suggested, action will be what the subjects can do on the objects. Okay, the last major component, but in class we do not use. That's a constraint. Okay, you can, so this subject can do something on this database unit, but not on all the records. So you need to give a certain condition. More specific rules, just like where, the where clause. When we do SQL, the where clause, we need to define the condition, what record we can access. So that's the basic thinking about define those authorization rules. If we look at next table, so this table, now we can clearly see what means these 4 components for authorization rule. Okay, well, now we have subject, the people. So the David can action can read what? Object employee. Okay, read employees. Okay, no constraint in this case, can read any employees. Now David can also insert into employee table, and also no constraint. Now, also David can modify this employee table, can also grant. We will see what mean grant employee table, no constraint. But we see bill, next one. The bill can access, also can access employee table, but can only read salary. For salary, for employee information, for employee whose salary less than 50K. How about Sally? Sally can insert, modify, purchase order, but only can insert a record for total sale less than 1,000. Can only modify for record for total sale less than 1,000. Okay, that's basic idea in the authorization table. We define what each subject can do on each object with certain constraint. But not only individual person. If you look at the highlighted part, the payroll clicks, that means the authorization rule can be assigned to individual, also can be assigned to a group. But how to assign group? If someone is doing work for the servers, Windows service can start, you already know you need to create a groups, then put each person into different group, then assign different rights to each group. So in this case, we will have a group called payroll clerks group. Now all the clerks will in this group. What they can do, they can read employee information from employee table. You see, that's authorization rules they can define. But how can you using code to assign those rules, to create those rules that you keep in the table? So this structure will be the structure we are using. Grant is just a ground. Similar, but it's a little bit different. We have a different ground. Okay, so this ground basically the idea is, okay, you log in, okay, then you can use some rights I give to you to do something. But what rights I will give to you if you are a new employee, just join my company, then I will use this ground statement to assign your rights. Because in this case, we have ground will be action. What actions we assign to who, to those subject, you know, the person 1, person 2, person 3, or someone. On what? On the object. What is the object? Database unit we're talking about. Okay. So in this case, we just assign someone the rights, some action rights on some database unit. And let's look at this example. Okay, in this case, we grant, insert, delete, update, select on employees, the department, Smith. What we are doing over here, if we just read this code, based on our structure, the definition for those rules, what are we trying to do over here? Grant, insert, delete, update, select on employees, department to Smith. What are we trying to do over here in this case?
You're authorizing Smith to insert, delete, update, and select records on the employees and departments tables.
Exactly, perfect. That's exactly the answer for this one. Okay, let's think about it. Let's copy this structure. Let's do one process. Okay. Let's give insert and select rights to Smith on table order. Let's spend 1 minute to create this one. Now you can type on slide. Just spend 1 minute to practice one. Give insert, select rights to Smith on table order. I will paste the structure over there. Okay, so in this case, now we just insert, select, just grant these two rights. Smith on table order. Okay. But let's say I only want this insert, select rights for the number purchase column. And in this case, what can we do if we only allow Smith to be able to insert, select the number purchase column in order table? Well, go ahead, sorry.
A wild guess, dot, order dot, number, whatever that field was that you mentioned.
Exactly. Okay. Thank you. So basically what we're trying to do is after the table. So we need like a layer. We have database and table and column. So that is top-down structure, right? So in this case, we use parentheses. Now have number of purchase column. Now we just assign Smith the rights, only rights on order table number purchase column. So Smith will have insert, select rights on this column. Great. That is an example how we use ground. Okay. Any questions so far? So for the next two practice, I will now do in class. You can press the bell set. We also can see, you can see we have multiple tables. You can assign to multiple people. But in this case, you are only assign the rights, the action rights to individuals. So basically, you have to, to do for everyone. Let's think about after 10 years, you start from a junior member, become a senior manager, maybe CIO. Okay. Now you do not have any, you have big company, 1,000 employees. Go ahead, Riyad, you have a question, you can ask me.
Oh, I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
That's fine.
I was just gonna ask for num of purchase. Could we have given that any name? Do we need underlines?
Oh, you have to use this part for table creation. That's kind of standard approach using toward the issue. Yeah. Okay, let me come back to topic. Okay, now you're senior manager. Okay, you're senior manager. Now you cannot to assign the rights every day to work on new employee hire. They might leave after 3 months. Okay, you need to find the medium level manager. You need to assign, to give the rights to the middle level manager to allow them to assign the same rights to other lower level employee. Okay, in this case, you dedicate your responsibility to other people. So in this case, we also have this kind of code to grant these kind of rights. Okay. So what kind of code we use? Oh, let me go back. Okay, with grant option. Okay, with grant option. With grant option, that means you gave this guy this right on those database unions. And this guy, you assign the rights, can also assign the same rights, action rights, on the same database unit to other people. Okay, in this case, we have database administrator can assign the same rights. If we look at this example, what does it mean? Grant, insert, dedicate, update, select on employees, department, orders, product to DBA with grant option. What are we trying to do over here? Based on we just talk about. What are we trying to do over here? If I put with grant option after this grant, what will happen in this case? What will happen in this case?
You pretty much gave this person admin rights, well, this group admin rights on those tables.
Yeah, basically, we are giving this DBA, thank you, this DBA's rights to employees to access the employee department out product table to do this kind of thing. Also, this DBA, this group can assign the same action rights to those database units. So that is, you can define individual rights. You can grant the same rights to other people who can also assign the same rights to other people. So basically, that is grant rights enough for this class. Okay, let me stop here to talk about grant rights. Any question before continue? Any question? Okay, this part is straightforward, but you do need to know. If I ask you how to give certain rights to certain things, you need to know how to write this code. You don't, of course, you don't need a test. Okay, okay, you gave the rights. So what happened next step means someone left the company. Maybe someone you found has certain issue. You do not want these kind of people to access. So you want to take the rights back. That will be the next one, taking back the rights. Okay. action right. That will be what we're talking about. Okay. When we're taking the rights back, the command we use will be revoke. Okay, we revoke someone's rights. Okay, the same structure. You see the revoke answer names on objects from subjects. Okay, first the people and the database unit action. What are the major difference if you compare to the practice we just did? What are the major two difference? If you do this, compare this ground and this revoke, you can see the two difference. What are the difference? You just need to look at the word, right? No. That's ground and the revoke, the first difference. Second difference will be the last structure word. You ground to someone. You take back from someone. Okay, that's the second major difference we have here. But how to do it? Just follow the ground stuff. Okay, let's look at the example we just looked at. We ground insert, delete, update, select the rights, action rights to submit on employee department table, but we want to take back. So we want to revoke those rights on student same, but from gonna take back from submit. Also, you can limit the rights you want to take back. For example, I do not want to take back all rights. I only want to take back the rights to updates. Oh, sorry. Update and delete. We still want to keep insert and select rights to submit, but I want to revoke those two rights. Now you can take away, submit these two rights to delete record, to update record, these two rights. Okay, any question about revoke structure? Okay, so this part is straightforward. Okay, the same thing. Now we can grant all rights to someone. Next step, we can define, we can take all rights back from someone. So in this case, maybe you do not know what rights this Smith has, but you don't want to check. Title can be consuming. You just want to blanket, do a blanket span to take all rights back. That will be the next one. Revoke all privileges. If you put this revoke at the beginning, that means you take all rights back from this project. Okay. So now we learned the grant command, the revoke command. I think for security part, we stop over here. Okay. What we need to know is in this security part, we talk about the major different three areas, what they are. Okay, those are different major procedures what we're trying to do. Also for authorization, these four different rules, how we define them, what does it mean each rule? Okay, and how can we using code? How can we use code to grant some rights to someone? Or use code to grant someone the additional rights to grant rights to other people. Also, how can we take the rights back? How can we take all the rights back? So those parts, I think, should be enough for security for this class. Basic understanding about security, I think it should be enough. So I will stop talking about security. Any question before we change the topic? Any question? Okay, so the security part and the NoSQL part certainly will be covered in the final exam. So we still have time. So for the rest time, we will go over text 2 exam answers. So you can have a look. No, you have any issues in the future. No, then you will see what you need to ask for. Okay. So I will open exam 2 answer. So this is exam 2. Okay. So in exam 2, what we're trying to do, I leave the introduction. Actually, that's a real platform. Okay. The data we have is some data there. Okay. So in this real platform, what we have is, so in the platform, the teacher can ask for money. It's created in New York, headquartered in actually the guy is a middle school teacher in New York. So this teacher wants to get, don't have enough in the classroom, for the teaching materials to create this website. If you are a public school teacher, you just go there, ask for, for money to put this material. So what we have in the table? So we will have the school. We have a school table, project table, donation table, donor table. Okay, in this case, so we have some teacher pays a project, ask for money for certain school subject. Okay, now you have, but we know this project for which school because you see the link. Now we have a donor donate to this project. So donation table will capture for this each donation from each donor for each project. Okay, that's basically information we have all here. Okay, in this case, so first, when you do this kind of practice, first you need to look at your database, understand what they are trying to store in each table. What information normally, if you look at project, okay, that certainly is about project information. Donation certainly about the donation table, donation information. Donor certainly about donor. School about school. Okay, you have basic idea about what you have in each table. Next, now you can start looking for the question. Just as what we did in practice in class. The first question, I really do not hope you made any mistake for first question. Okay, this basically just copy our homework answer, change the name, copy the table stuff and put there. Okay, so I ask you to create a donation table. So the knowledge point, the testing point will be those constraints that may part and the not none may part covered in the grading will be. Okay, this part is most important. That's the first one. Second part, the question 2, question 1 will be insert. So I only gave you one record. So you only need to insert this structure, just copy from your homework. You see the reason why I ask you to grade the homework is not because I'm lazy. The homework question, just change the table name. That will be the answer for many of these questions. Just replace table name, replace column, and the same answers. Okay. Now you just replace what knowledge point, insert structure, the sequence, the value. Okay, that's okay for the first one. I do believe first question most students will get the question. Now we start with second. The second was question 4 in assignment. So in this case, I already gave you information about which table you need to update. So teachers want to double their requested amount for project in mathematics subject. So you will have condition in mathematics subject. Okay. Please modify the project table to reflect this. So what are you trying to do? So now you need to know, okay, that is project table you need to update. What you will update? Requested amount. For what record you update? The subject mathematics. So that will be the part will be considered in the grade. The T will be very linear. I do believe. Yeah, I do believe T will be linear. If you have structure, you have type or something, That be ignored. Okay, that be ignored. But you do need to have this kind of structure to get the points. Let's do.
Professor,
Oh, go ahead.
just a question. You didn't post the grade yet for the exam, right?
No, haven't finished yet.
Okay.
I need to see how much we need to curve.
Okay. No, because I would like, for me, it would have been more visually if I would have seen that my grade and then see where I went wrong. But
okay.
Thank you.
In that case, let's do next week. Let's do next week.
No. Let me not speak for the whole class. That gets me. Sorry.
Let me ask class. Okay, do you want to do next week or this week?
This week works.
Let's just get it over with. Let's do it now.
We have time. Let's do it now, Professor.
Okay, it's better we do now. Okay, because next week, no, we want to stay tight. Okay, assignment 3, the question 3. So project ID a need statement for project that are created request donation to purchase camera, tablet, CD player. Hint: the needs are in the column need statement in project. Oh, sorry. So I already changed it in our question. No, I didn't correct in the project table. So I will specify. So let's go back to the project table. Need statement project. In this case, you understand. Okay, select from the project table. The column you will need is need statement. But what you need, the operator you need to use, that will depend on what approach you want to use, right? So in this case, we will need to use like. Okay, the like will be 3 likes: like camera, like tablet, like CD player. Also, you need to have all. Cannot have and means each statement needs to have camera, tablet, and CD player all in the same need statement. No, that's incorrect. You have all. So that will be the grading point. Any question about question 3?
Yeah, I actually have a question.
Okay, sure, go ahead.
I read that, I mean, I understand the logic, but I read that as in to purchase camera, tablet, CD player, as in one statement, because I didn't see an or CD player. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah, that's kind of grammar problem. Yeah, I should put all there. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Let me know if you lose point that part. Okay. I think that's a valid point. That's valid point. Yeah, that's valid.
Okay. And also, Professor, if you didn't include the star in you, because I was not thinking like I saw, does that take away point 2?
Oh, if you do not have star.
Yes. So like I have everything except the star because I didn't know we needed.
Let me look at it. I cannot say because I still need to give the TA certain rights, flexible rights for grading. Let me check. But
okay. No, the reason why I
strictly is incorrect because you do not have the consideration for the wild card. Yeah. The reason why we use like because we want to use the wild card in the star. That's the main reason.
I used the like. It just I didn't use the why like how you would, because if you was to run the code using Microsoft, it will run. But if you
that means you do not have star or you have this star. Sorry.
No, I don't have no star. I just have like this or like
that's the issue. Okay.
Okay.
If you use like, means you're not sure. You have to define star for wildcard. You have to have this part, strictly speaking. Okay, let me continue. That's go ahead. Pass. You have question? You can ask me. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he lost connection. Maybe he can ask me later. Let's go to question 4. Question 4, while the code, write code to so unique, that's very important, unique teacher ID and supported subject for project from school in Arizona, California. Now we have or did many this kind of practice class, right? In department 1, 2, 3, in blah blah. So basically the idea, when you look at, okay, we want to get teacher ID, supported subject, okay, the basic idea, teacher ID, that's in subject table, right? For project in school, from school in, no, if you look at, means you will need 2 tables, school table, project table. Now it defined you need 2 tables. You just need to build connection. You automatically need to build the connection. That's the first thing you need to do. Next, just look at in blah blah blah. And the second part. But if you write school equal to AZ or school equal to CA, everything in parentheses, okay, they're also correct. Okay, you're also correct. Any question about this one? Okay, then let's look at question 5. Displaying total donations. Total donations of each donor. Wait, emphasize many times. If you see total of some average of each, no, basically group by group by group by. Okay, display total donation each donor for each project. So means we will please show the project ID, donor ID, donor state, and the total donation. Okay, in this case, you will have donor state, that be in donor table. Okay, now project ID, that be in donation, that everything, total donation, that be in donation table. These 2 tables you decide. Then you start on, link them together, then group by all column you put over there. If you put 6 or 7 column, that's fine. Oh no, you cannot. In this case, I require you have to put those columns. Then you will get answer for question 5. Any question? Okay, let's go to 6. So project title for project receive the most donations among total again. So where's project title? In the project table. Where's donation? In donation table. If you go back to those picture, now you just choose these 2 tables, build connection, group. Because I required using select top, you have to order by, then top 1. That will be answer for this one. Any question? Okay. Now look at the question 7. Question 7 is something we did practice in class, but in exercise we only have 1 question. Okay. So for each project, please show project title and each donation received. If any, that means some project may not have donation, and donation time including project did not receive any donation. I also actually specify. So in this case, will be outer join. That depend on the project table in which side. If you project table on right hand side, will be right outer join. In this case, I put on the left hand side will be left outer join. Then will be the answer for question 7. Okay, you see no question. 8. So project title for project receive more than 15 donation. Now we have aggregate with condition. Oh, I already specified having, certainly having. So in this case, in case you're not clear about the copied structure, copied in our slide, in our review has structure, copy, paste there, fill in something. And basically you get the structure point. Okay, you get the structure. So in this case, so project title, project receive more than 15, just project title, now aggregate their donation number and the having. That's the main part we will have. Okay. For question 9, exercise, okay, so donation, I specify donor ID, donation amount that are larger than average all donation of all project. So you need to get average first. That will be the subquery. Okay, that will be your subquery. So this part are most point concentrate that part. So let's look at 10. To understand the donation speed for project. Please show donation that was donated within 2 days. This part we did not do. When we go over the date, remember the data type date, I said a few slides, you can read yourself. I just want to test. Anyone read that slide? Okay, that's really that is this question, the test something we did not do practice. Only this one 2 days after project was posted. Okay, you have 2 table link, then you just use one time to minus another time will be the difference. Okay. The question 11. Some teacher in New York State and sometimes donate to own project. Please fund this teacher and show their ID state. So this part, what I test is multiple table drawing together. That is one part. Okay. So in this case, if you look at the teacher in New York, okay, school, certainly the teacher, yeah, teacher. Okay, New York sometimes donate to own project. We know their project. Okay, that donation, ID, and the state. So those parts will include in this one. Okay, and the 12 question 12.
Professor, just a quick question. If we used inner join for that, we should be good, right?
It's good. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I did not require. Okay. The 12 is show donors ID state, donation to project from the home state. In this case, if you look at the donor ID, donation state, donate to project home state, you need to know the project state, right? So basically, this is the big joy, the base joy in this whole question. You have a 4 table together, 3 joins, the last condition. But if you only have all those things, get most points. The last part just one teacher state, the donor state, the project school state, the same. And only one condition there. Okay. The question 13, actually, it address our last homework 7 question. The question 30 actually is much simpler than question 30. You just remove those divide, the denominator part, the change the table name. That will be the answer for this one, the 30. Okay, using so write the query, show the project ID, donation amount, this donation average. Okay, you just sub query, do the average as a table, then join with donation table. Then you get the answer. That will be the last question. Okay, I will stop over here. I think if you have question, yeah, I think most of you already look at how I will grade based how the rubric is designed. If any question when the TA finish, let me know. We definitely can change before I post grade to CUNY first. Okay, do not wait the last day. After I post grade to CUNY first, like I said, I cannot change anything basically. I just cannot change at all. Okay, make sure you understand that part. Okay, I think this should be enough for today. I hope you enjoy weekend. Sorry about that. I still have so much homework to do, but I hope you perform well in other class as well. Okay, hey, Demi, please just let me know.
Well, it's not really. It's back to the project again. Is that okay?
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Okay, you said that at queries we needed 5, right? Or like, how many queries you said we needed?
Oh, you can have 4 to 5.
4 to 5. Okay.
I'm not looking for very complex query. I'm not looking just down
no,
the street.
I understand. Just like so, like each of us could do one and then put it
you can. Yeah, just down the street you can use the database to do what you propose in your proposal. That's all.
Okay, and then my second question was, I seen in the thing that the project template you gave us, it had the relationship sentences. We need to add that for our
if you have, you're supposed to have. Did I ask you?
No, not the ER. I'm talking about like the like one. Like
because only ERD, only ERD diagram have a relationship sentence. Only ERD diagram. You have to write down relationship sentence, then draw the ERD, like we did in class. Yeah. I think you need to have. I remember. Did I?
I can't remember.
Okay, and then my last.
And my last question, because I was like confused. So what did you said about evaluation? What did you said earlier? You said like take a screenshot. I didn't really understand.
Oh, for the actual points, right?
Yeah.
Okay. After you finish evaluation, please do leave comments. That's the most helpful one. Yeah. Thank you very much. Leave comments. Then after you finish, you have a screen. Let's say, okay, your evaluation for this class completed. Just take a screenshot. Now paste the screenshot into Word document. Upload the screenshot to Blackboard. That's all. Okay.
Okay.
Please
no problem.
do not take a screenshot for the grade. I will not give you actual point. I give you high point.
Okay, no problem.
I mean, that part, completion part is most important. Yeah. Also the comment, very helpful.
Question, two questions, Professor.
Sure, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Eris, you could go.
Oh, are you sure? Okay. I guess I already submitted my like team eval and I did shots. So
okay. If you want, I mean, because you still have final project, you believe you will not change your team evaluation. That's fine.
I don't think so, because we're like nearing the end and we've been pretty consistent. So
great. Then
wait, why do we have to take a screenshot of the team evals?
Not
just
team
the
eval,
teacher
not team
evals.
eval. Teacher eval.
Not just the teacher evals. Okay, that's
not
fine.
the team eval.
I think Eris was confused on that part.
Oh, okay. Eris, that's for teaching evaluation, not for team within team evaluation.
Yeah, I misheard. Okay, thanks.
Any other question regarding the exam or something? I think it's time to ask me because next week will be last meeting.
Sorry, for the teacher evaluation, you're gonna post it on Blackboard, right?
Yes, I will create a copy. I can't remember release tomorrow sometime. I forgot.
Okay, and also
but I do remember that better to do it, to actual points.
Thank you. And then the for the exam review that you just showed, can you also post that so for people who got it wrong, we could see where we went wrong?
This part a little bit tricky, no, because the data, you see, I hide data. I shouldn't disclose data either. That's something to access even some code from the company. Something I cannot use. No, that's reason. You can look at. Actually, I already saw our code, right? It just was the last 10 minutes today's meeting. You already have everything. The same thing as I post. The same thing. Okay. Any other question? Okay, go ahead. Don't need to raise your hand. I think this is yeah.
Thank you, Professor. You said this at the beginning. I'm so sorry. I had technical difficulties.
Sure.
The final exam covers just
today and next week final exam.
Oh, okay. Got you. Thank you so much.
And we may have 1 or 2 multiple choice questions from previous.
Thank you so much.
Okay. If you do not have other questions, now everyone have a nice weekend. The problem, my email, both email, neither is working. Desperate. I talked to BCTC, called them 3 times already, Zoom twice. Doesn't work. You just cannot fix. So I think I will create a different email and let you know if other questions. You can email the different email. Okay. Have a nice weekend, everyone. And you're free to leave.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, go ahead.
We as a group, my group actually have a question about the project.
Sure. You can ask me now.
Oh, it's okay. So yeah, we're group 13, and in our RDM, the diagram, we do have a subclass and the superclass relationship. So we actually didn't cover how to create the tables for those. So I tried to send you the email like several times, but all returned. So
that's sorry about that. So in this case, if you do not use for your query, don't need to create at this stage. Just forget about it. Just skip that part. No, only
skip
one
that
day.
part?
Skip that creating that part. If you do not use it. You have a top table, right? The superclass table. You should have.
Yeah.
Just using that table to do all other things at this stage.
Oh,
No
Okay.
surprise, just do that part. I do not waste your time just creating something you have to start learning by yourself.
And okay, we'll do that. Just to clarify, did you mention that we can only have like 5 or 6 tables in total for this truck? 5 or 6 tables in total, or should we make all the tables that we've created for the diagrams?
Oh, no, I did not talk this part.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I'm
No.
talking about the scenario, 4 to 5 scenario.
Oh,
After you
4
create the
to
data
5 scenario. Okay.
you know, just to demonstrate, you know, the people can use your database to do something.
Oh, I get it. Sorry, I misheard it. Thanks.
Professor, my group just has 2 more questions about the final project.
Sure.
So we saw on the example that you put up, they took like the screenshot of the ERD model and then the conversion to RDM and then normalization. So since we already did those, we can just copy paste that, or
that's just copy
okay.
paste.
Because
That's the
you
reason-
emailed us with comments on stuff to change, but you said we didn't have to resubmit it. So should we put the edited version?
Have you changed already? You should be revised. Yeah.
We didn't resubmit it, but you didn't.
But don't need to
resubmit it.
resubmit. Don't need to
Okay.
resubmit.
But just put the updated one?
Put the updated one into the final report.
Okay.
No, I will start only use the final report. I already have all other document, everything in my hand already. So the each step I already record what you did. But the final report, I will just read through it.
Okay. And for the coding, like the create tables with SQL, how many insert statements should we
Just
put for that?
one enough.
Oh, one's enough? Okay.
One enough, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Sorry, to clarify, so you had us drop tables and drop relationships on our ERD. Do I need to resubmit a clean ERD with the drops?
Don't need, just pay clean ERD into your final report. Don't need to submit.
So we create the ERD clean and put that in the final report.
Put in the final report. That's all.
Very good. Thank you.
Professor, I have one question just to make sure about the group project. So we will have a concern that do we need to do the relation after we finish the normalization, or we like try to use access to do the ERD diagram?
You don't need to do ERD diagram. ERD diagram will be the first stage when you start design your project. That is the ERD diagram. You already submitted. Your team already submitted. I think it's in March.
No.
ERD.
I mean, the final result that we're going to have for the sequel, is that going to look like the ERD diagram, or?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit confused. So in the final submission, you will have Word document, right? For all the components. Now you will have an access file with the database you created. So in the final report, the ERD diagram will be the ERD diagram you create in step 3. It's that ERD diagram, not the database ERD diagram.
Okay, so we're using we're using the normalization to do it.
Oh, you have you have the ERD diagram. Okay, you draw in step 3. Then you will have a conversion the ERD the picture into the RDM will be second component. Third component will be for the RDM you convert, you will do normalization. You can track your submission. You just look at the sample project, the Word document on Blackboard.
Okay.
Each component, what you have, just now graph what you have for your team project, replace what they have.
Okay.
Replace what they have. Then that should be what you need to submit.
Okay.
Did I make? I'm sorry. Probably email. If you still not clear, you can ask me. You can read a little bit. You can ask me later.
No, I'm clear. Thank you so much.
Any other question from other students?
Hi, Professor. I have like my test.
Okay.
This is Megan, by the way.
Huh?
This is Megan. I don't know if my mic's
okay.
Yeah. I tried sending you. I sent like 4 emails, but they all like.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. I was sorry.
Let me create a different email later. You can
Okay. Okay. I was just saying that I managed to get home in time, so I was able to do the test during the hours, and I submitted it on Blackboard. So
you
do you want me to still
submitted.
send it?
You
Yeah.
already submitted. It should be on Blackboard. I just and it should be there. If the TA cannot find, I will email you Stephen's email.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. That's good. Sorry about that. Thank you so much.
Okay, guys. If you don't have other questions, I think I will log off. So you have a nice weekend. Enjoy next week.
Likewise. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.